Hello, hi, it's July 17th, 2023. I got cheated out of my first two trips because of cancer and radiation and all that stuff. But we're back. Gail's with me on her annual trip, which is great. So Gail can assist me putting in the floor that we brought all the stuff out last year for before we left. So we have all the material, and our goal is to put a new floor over the other floor and then seal it. And then if we get lucky, we're going to try to get the half door in, which I brought, an old door from like late 1800s. It's pretty cool. So that's our goal for this trip. And we had to clean everything out from the cabin. So everything that's in the cabin the last couple of days went out of the cabin. So that's what we're going to start right now. And hopefully by the time we leave in a week, we'll have a new floor and hopefully a new door. We're lining up our first board, 2 foot by 8 foot. This matches the ceiling. You can see how bright the ceiling is even after being stained. This will be the same exact, it's the same exact finished good wood on this one side. We already made sure the floor is dead level. We went underneath, everything's fine under there. Put a square on it, and we are absolutely dead bang where we want to be. So we will move to the right and the left until we're just at the border, and then we'll make custom cuts to fill in, because the logs, you got to remember, some ends of the logs are like that. It's butts and tips, they call it, and the other end is like that. So obviously it's not a straight line. You know, they're not from a store. So I got to custom cut those, and we're ready. This is board one, floorboard one. We got our first board in, that our new beam, which is the new beam's about this wide, the other one was about like that. So what I did was I made a template of the end of that beam, and I'm going to go up, screw this in the center of that, draw it out, chisel that out, cut it out or chisel it out, one of the two, and then we have to recut that to the 87.5 and sledgehammer it up and in the notch. So that's our next project. This morning's a big day in the neighborhood. Gail and I spent yesterday getting the key piece for the floor in, notching. This log is twice as big as the original one, but that's what I finally wanted. But we have to re-notch, so we made a template of that end that's tapered. And I put this up on that beam, and we cut the notch that this will stick in, but it's 3 inches longer than we need. We can't make a mistake, because I'm not making another one of these. So our next step is to cut this, and now I've got an electric battery operated chainsaw that I got for my birthday last year, or the year before, and this will make a nice cut, nice even cut. I wish I had this years ago. It's a really good tool. All right, so the next step is slowly cut that perfectly, and we're just going to cut it a little long, you know, just you always go a little long, and then we'll test it, and if we have to shave a hair off, we will. That's today. Big day. Then we can proceed with the whole floor. We can remove those other side beams and pull them out, and she should be good to go. Really happy. Looks good. We're going to make our final, hopefully our final cut. I'm going to stay on the south side of the line, trying to keep the black line there. It's tough doing a perfect thing with a chainsaw, but I can control this pretty well. And then if I need to do anything, I can do the rest by hand sanding, and we'll just hope it's really good and perfect. So it's time to cut. like that. All right, I'm staying on the line, on the line, on the line, on the line. All right. Check. Other nice thing about this is I've tested it. I can overpower the saw. If it ever looks like it's making a mistake, I can go in and correct it. And by stopping, I can see that I'm just going to take a little bit more off the bottom of that cut. This looks good. All right. Yeah, for a second. Now, we'll put a straight edge on. Oh, that's looking good. All right, sandpaper. That's a wrap. I'm gonna try to pull this up, obviously, but it's kind of, all right. Okay. Kill it. Okay. Gail and I are back for the beginning of the fifth day, and we're real happy that the new giant replacement support post that holds the cabin up is secured. It's on a section of our new floor.
Yay!
Which was not easy to do. And before we did that, Gail shined a flashlight on me. I made sure everything was level underneath the floor. We adjusted that. It was perfect. We put a level on it. We put a level up here. And now we have 5 of the panels on the floor, secured. And now we could go from that to the left, and we'll do the same thing on the one on the right. And we were really happy that my overhead notch that this giant thing has to go in and pop in, we got it on the first try.
Yep. It just clicked right in.
Just popped
So,
in.
Now we're on to more floorboards.
More floorboards. this? Yeah. Try that. Our little 20-minute switching this second beam out, furthest one, because it has to have a new floor under it. We thought we'd take 20 minutes. That was an hour and a half. We had to put, same thing, 2 other supports on either side. Get them in hard and fast enough to take the pressure off of this, which we finally did. And then now we have to remove a portion of this because we're raising the height of the floor again. So this has to be one of those critical cuts. No mistakes, because we don't have another beam made for that. So that's it. That's what we're going to do now. Meeting the line. It's just nice to have a saw you can control a little with something like this. I can move it slightly over and without it bucking. All right. We're still right on the line.
Almost there.
Pretty close?
Yep. Cool.
Well, it certainly looks good.
All right, next step.
Let me have this. That's to be sure. That's another way of checking it. All right. I guess we check it. All right. This is Friday. It's Gail's birthday. Happy birthday, Gail. She always says I'm making her work on her birthday, and
He does.
this time I really am.
We're running out. We're fighting the clock, and it's really been nice having her here, helping me do everything. You know, two people a lot better than one sometimes. So we've got 80% of the floor done. We're just filling in the back side, and then the problem is then we have to move everything out of the cabin completely so we can actually seal the floor and do it the right way. We're good at sealing. We've been doing it a lot. So a good day in the neighborhood. Floor is going to look really cool, and I'm going to show you the ceiling right now. And the floor will kind of look like the ceiling, maybe just a little lighter. So it'll really brighten things up without even having lights on in here. So that's today.
So today, we're gonna get the rest of the floor in. We're at 80%. We've been busting our butts for 4 days. And once we get the last part of the floor in, which isn't a lot today, but then we gotta take everything out of the cabin that's in there, put it out here, so we can seal the floor properly. Everything's gotta be out. So, and this, we're happy to say, is half of the door I'm gonna be putting in. So it's gonna be a Dutch door, which will be cool.
Yeah.
So I'll have to build that part, but I got the door here that I'm gonna use. It's from the late 1800s. It's pretty cool. It's solid core. So that's today.
All right.
Happy birthday, Gail. Sorry,
What a great day for a birthday.
well, she's getting blue skies.
Yep, that's all good.
All right, so that's today.
Let's get started.
Let's get working. Yeah. Get her done. The floor is in. My voice is still out, but it's in. We'll be sealing it tomorrow. Posts are in. Everything on the floor is done. And that's a little better shot of it. So everything's done on the floor. Next step is sealing it tomorrow. Today we're going to start with sealing the floor. Floor's all in. Gail and I have two 4-inch brushes with poles. What I lost is my mixer. Wouldn't be a big deal unless you got 8 gallons to mix. So what I'm doing is taking one of my 15-inch screws, an old paddle from the toolbox, and we're going to turn that into a paddle and put it on the drill. So, and then blend these guys, these two, into this. This should hold about 3 gallons, and then I can stir that up real well. So and hopefully this will stay on. This is a new version of my paint mixer. And I think it'll last this long. So we're gonna get 1 coat of paint or sealer, and we've used this sealer on the cabin, on decks at home, on the dock. So I've worked with it for years and years, and I know it's really good for heavy traffic. So we're not guessing, we're putting the right stuff down. And then in a couple hours, while it's still wet, we'll get our second coat, wet on wet. So that's our little invention today. Now we need the drill, and we can start mixing.
So this is the first coat. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but you can see the patterns that I picked out running through the floor, which are turning out to be pretty cool. Yeah, it's a little easier. You could see that. So it's like old cabinet and furniture finish, that grate on the top. So it's really kind of cool. I'm glad it's coming through. This is the first coat, and we're halfway through the first coat.
Floor is looking great. Dennis is nearly done with 2 coats. Way to go, Dennis.
All right, it's July 24th.
2023.
It's the end of our trip. We got the floor down completely, the right way, sealed twice. We'll do the rest of the trim later. We brought out the door that'll go in the cabin. We protected that. We went to Harry's Harbor, cleaned all that up, redid the pontoon,
Ran the motor.
fired up the motor. Everything ran. We just cleaned up some other stuff too. We're gonna button up the cabin, and
It's looking really good
the
inside.
shed. It looks great inside.
Yep.
It matches the ceiling perfectly, which really lightened it up. I mean, you could tell the difference even with no lights on, no solar things. All right, that's it. Till next
Signing
time.
off.
Till the end of August. Hopefully, I'll be back.